Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to the very first Sing Me Your Story episode. And this is starring my brother, because who better to start this whole thing than with my brother, who's got a gazillion stories. But also, we've been performing together ever since we were little, and been sharing stories ever since we can remember. So Greg is an extremely accomplished professional singer. He started out doing session work in Orlando, and he started doing theme park shows. And then after Orlando, he up and moved to Seattle to sing with a group called Impact. And after that chapter closed, he moved to Los Angeles and started doing session work with me, which is awesome, because for the first time in my life, all of a sudden, instead of being Greg's little sister, he was my brother. We joke about that. Anyway, he is a passionate, extremely talented vocalist, but also an incredible musician. And Greg has sung on many projects. I mean, I can't even name them all. Simpsons, Ice Age movies, Star Trek movies, X-Men movies. He's been a very busy guy. Without further ado, Greg Whipple. Okay, Greg, thank you for being with us today.
Hi.
You are my very honored guest.
Am I the first one?
You're my very first one.
Woo!
Yep.
Not 1, not 2,
Not 3, not 4. So I told my guests, listeners / captive audience a little bit about you and kind of how we both got started together, and we've always sung together. And as a result, yes, since we were tiny. Actually,
Jesus Loves Me on the church stage.
But I ran back to Mom, remember?
That's true.
So my dad had a traveling group, and he called us both like a traveling gospel group, as you do in the 70s. And he called us up during a concert, both of us, Greg and I just immediately ran back to Mom. And Greg was like, which is
born.
So we are sometimes opposite in our performer traits, but we both get to do it together, which is what's so awesome. And we are so lucky, because not many brothers and sisters get to do what they love to do together. So thank you everybody for joining our very first video. And so Greg, is there anything else you want to say about how awesome you are and all the stuff that you've done?
Well, I can tell you a little bit about what I do overall. Just I'm a
Sure.
session singer, for those
Sure.
who are not sure what this is all about. Because I know you're gonna probably have different types of guests on your show that are from different types of industries, and most of them are going to be musical, but you could have actors, you could have teachers.
Yep.
So I am a session singer in Los Angeles, and a session singer is anybody who sings in the studio for any sort of project. It could be film, it could be TV, it could be somebody's record, it could be your own record.
Commercials
as well.
We got to do a couple of those together. That was fun.
Yes, we did. But yeah, one of my favorite things was being able to have a career alongside my sister, who was doing the same thing for 15 years, 15, 16, 17 years, I think.
Yeah.
We were together.
Yeah.
But you paved my way there, because you moved to LA first.
Oh, so funny. Yep. You started singing professionally first, and then I moved to LA first.
Yes.
And I had done a couple of film sessions. I'm trying to remember the first one that we did together. Was it Ice Age 2?
Horton Hears a Who.
Oh, it was Horton Hears a Who. Oh, thank you, Edie Lehman-Boddicker, for that one. Yes. She's one of the contractors in LA. That's a whole other video about how that works. But anyway.
Everyone as a guest. She would be awesome.
I should.
That was 2008, maybe?
I don't remember. I was there since about 2000. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about kind of recently what you've been doing.
Okay, well, Hmm. Just doing session work for film and TV mostly. I very recently sang on a sequel to a very well-known movie. That's all I probably can say at this point. But I'm very excited about it. It was really fun. I also have been singing on the ongoing television show on Disney Junior called The Lion Guard, which is a 30-minute sequel to the Lion King movie. Uh, so it's cool because we get to sing in Swahili sometimes, like do a lot of African chant, and then we get to also sing the oohs and ahs and be choral, be kind of different singers and wear different hats within the same session.
That's cool.
That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I'm also singing in Los Robles Master Chorale, which is a chorale that's sort of located in the western side of LA area.
Mm-hmm.
And we're doing a piece here downtown, which is 4 blocks from my house, so I get to walk to work instead of drive 2 hours.
Yay! Do you have to walk up the hill?
Yes, but the Angels flight works now, so you can.
Oh, okay. Okay. Look it
route.
up if you're not from LA. It's yeah.
A few months ago, where I was over there doing a stage show, which I hadn't done in quite a while. I thought I had actually sort of hung up my musical theater shoes.
Mm-hmm. We all do.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But it just, an opportunity came up out of the blue from something that I had done through session singing. So that was a really interesting kind of connection. And the money was good enough, and so I said sure. And it wasn't too long of a commitment because you don't want to give up a life that you're trying to make for yourself and go all the way or halfway around the world and just forget about all the stuff that you've gotten to that point. But prayed it over, talked about it, and went. And it was really fun, very great learning experience. There were some not so fun moments as well with anything, but the friends that I made there were lifetime friends now that I never would have met prior to this, and
Mm-hmm.
The experiences and the knowledge that I now have about certain things.
Like your favorite, like tell them about the pizza that you had in China. That's one of my favorite things.
Yes, we had, instead of Hawaiian pizza, their Hawaiian pizza was, instead of ham and pineapple, it was hot dogs and peaches.
Mm.
And you know what? We were so hungry that we still ate.
It was American.
Yes.
And you have plenty of stories from your show in China.
Tons of stories. Most of them revolve around lost in translation moments.
Oh my gosh.
Because there were layers of English through French through Italian into Chinese kind of situations. So yeah, it was an international cast, and it was really, it created some really fun moments.
Well, okay, so Greg, tell us, seriously, you have a gamazillion stories, and so we will probably hear all of them, hopefully. But please share with us one of your favorites.
Well, I do.
Or one of my favorites.
Some of them were secondhand, I have to admit, but they're such good stories that I've perpetuated them to my friends, and some of them think they're my stories. But I do have some that were firsthand. Got tons of stories from session singing and working at Disney and Universal. But since China just happened and it's fresh on my mind, I can tell you one of those stories. This particular one was, it wasn't an actual performance, but it was a tech run through kind of cue to cue rehearsal. We were sort of doing both because of how the situation became what it was as far as our rehearsal timeline and trying to expedite learning the show and putting it up by the time we were supposed to, which was very far behind. Through yes, I'm not going to name names or blame anyone, but it just happened that way. But there were definitely, like I was mentioning, translation issues, and our director, who was doing his best, spoke pretty broken English, and he would be. We had a new tech crew that had just joined because the other one walked off the set for whatever reason. I'm not going to go into that. So they had to learn the show again from scratch. So that was not helping us situation.
No.
But our French director was barking out orders onto a microphone in broken English to the Chinese crew, or the interpreter to the Chinese crew, or the interpreter to the stage manager, who would then tell the Chinese crew. So it was just these layers and layers of communication breakdown. And there was a sign. It was a curtain. It was like made out of wood, but it was like one of those celebratory ribbons that you would see at a ball. The show I was doing was Gone with the Wind.
Oh yeah, we should say that. Uh-huh.
Gone with the Wind. I played Scarlett's father, Gerald O'Hara, and I actually had some really great songs in the show. It was a fun experience for me, great exposure. And for the most part, many of the set pieces were top notch. Like, this was a Broadway scale production as far as like the amount of money they spent on set pieces and costumes and energy and time. But there were some small little things that were like, this particular thing, it was one of those curtains. It's red and white ribbon. It's like, it was at the ball in Atlanta, the scene, if you're familiar with the story.
Mm-hmm.
But it was made out of wood, and it looked kind of cheap. Whatever, it was fine. So they had it set, but it was really low, and like one of the ribbons was hanging down and blocking part of the scene. So they're trying to sort of multitask, and the choreographer is running through stuff while the director is working on cue-to-cue stuff with lighting and things. And so there's all of this choreography going around. They're doing all this ballroom dancing stuff. And
where are you? Are you off stage?
I'm actually in the audience because I'm not on stage at this time.
Okay.
I do have stories about me being on stage too, but
that'll be the next one. Yeah.
So it was just glorious to be able to experience from the audience perspective. So the director gets on the microphone and he says, we need to raise the curtain or cut the curtain, or something similar to that in broken English.
Okay.
And so the translations happened, and basically it was translated to cut the curtain. Like, he meant like take the curtain out of the whole scene. Yes. But they interpreted it a little differently. So all these dancers are in mid choreography, and all of a sudden these little three crew members roll out these like mechanical stairs in the middle of the choreography, and the dancers were like, "Oh!" And they stop where this curtain is hanging down, and they get a hacksaw and start sawing. And all the dancers just kind of got over to one side, and they're just like, yeah. Me and two of my castmates who were sitting next to me are one of them played Belle, and the other one was the understudy, Scarlett. None of us were involved in the scene, and we just were howling laughing. It was amazing.
That's awesome. That is awesome. See, I didn't know that, because I'd heard the story before, and I didn't know. Yeah, he said cut it, meaning get rid of it. I didn't know that I didn't know that part of it.
Again, like, he just wasn't thinking because he had so much on his mind.
Mm-hmm.
He's just saying, either we raise it or we get rid of it. But
Get rid of it. Yeah.
in his
But
brain, English is cut it.
oh, that's so funny. And I totally do a whole string of like a China show series because you guys, this was like the icing on the cake. I mean, so because he and I talked a lot. We would do Marco Polos back and forth and stuff, and it was just crazy everything that was going on with this show. It was crazy.
Some of that stuff we probably will keep to ourselves.
Yes, but some of it is just the things that happen in a production, and some of the stuff like it needed to happen, but just with the heightened stress of a show, and in the middle of a, was it a dress or was it a like, it was like,
it was not a dress yet. We should have been already dress rehearsing. It was a Q to Q.
Yeah.
It was 2 days before opening night.
Oh my gosh. I could just see the mechanical stairs. And the dancers trying to like still be full out, and yeah. That is awesome. Okay, awesome. Thank you for sharing that story.
Yeah,
and we'll hear more stories later from Greg. Really quickly, Paso Robles Corral, right?
Los Robles.
Los Robles. Oh, that's right. Los Robles. They're all kind of like, all of our friends who are in it are going to be like, Karen! Yeah, if you are in California, everyone, check them out. I'm sure there's a website, Paso Robles Corral. No, did I get it wrong? Again?
Yeah. No Paso. Just Los. Los Robles. Los Robles Master Corral. You can edit that out.
Yeah. Los Robles Master Corral. Okay.
Led by Leslie Layton.
Yes, that's right. Who she and I sang together in the Los Angeles Master Chorale, but I love that she has broken off and done her own thing with this. I'm like, kudos to her. And I'm not surprised at all. She's amazing.
Actually, she's amazing. I am actually have been given the honor. Our next concert that we're doing. I'm going to be a subcontractor when there's Leslie in the middle, and then there's 4 subcontractors. Not contractors, conductors, subconductors. It's a piece called Crowd Out, and it is it's a spoken word oratorio. Sure, why not? This guy, there is clapping.
Oh.
He's a composer from New York. He was in Spain for something, traveling, and he happened upon this group of people who had waving flags and chanting together something and cheering and stuff. And he's like, "What is that?" He had never been to a sporting event in his life. So he just was not into sports. Some people are like that. So he just was like, "Well, I don't have anything to do. I'm exploring the city, so I'm going to follow them." So he followed them to a soccer match. And he was like, "Sure." They bought a ticket, walked in, and experienced his first sporting event, which was a soccer match in Spain, which is hello.
Right.
And he completely fell in love with just the science and the physics of crowd noise and the music of crowd noise.
Oh, cool.
Like this side would be chanting something, and then it would sort of like, morph over to here, or they would be doing the wave, or they would be cheering, or just that celebrated that. And so he wrote this piece, which is just the entire Disney Hall is going to be full of participants, and the audience members are going to be sitting amongst the participants.
Yes, that's cool.
Sort of like what's the thing that was really big 10 years ago with people just breaking in a song in the middle of a mall? What do they call that?
What's it called?
Flash mob. It's going to be
yes.
kind of flash mobby, but
okay.
Rehearsed. And they know that they're coming here to see something. So, but I've been given the honor to conduct 1/4 of the crowd, which is the yellow group. So, and that's
That's
happening
awesome.
on June 1st. So if you're in the Los Angeles area and want to come,
Check it out, because honestly, like a bunch of my buddies also sing with the group, and they're just, I mean, it's such a crazy talented town of people. So absolutely check them out. And for something totally new, like choral music is absolutely still alive, and there's a lot going on, and groups like this, you're able to see the new things that are happening in the world of choral music. And my dad,
yes,
those of you who don't know, my dad was our very first music director, conductor, minister of music. You know, he was our very first, he taught us how to conduct, basically. I don't do it.
ah,
I let my husband do that. But well, awesome. Thank you for spending the afternoon practically with us, and or morning, whenever I'm going to post this. And we will absolutely hear more stories from you. But tell people where they can find out more about you. Like, do you have a website?
no.
You know. So what about SoundCloud or something like that? Do you have a SoundCloud page or something like that where they can hear you? Are you serious? You don't have a page? Oh my gosh, Greg.
I have an IMDb page, and I have an email address. When somebody asks for stuff, I just send them
your demo.
I'm bad. I'm terrible.
Yeah.
And that's something I need to do. I need to do a website or a SoundCloud page. I do have a YouTube channel that sometimes that has a couple of things on there, but
okay. Well, they'll just have to come and hear you live then.
That's right. But you can find me on IMDb and see all the movies and films and TV things that I've sung on.
Credits and stuff. See, I haven't put all my stuff on there, like all the choral stuff. I have my solo stuff, but I haven't done that.
No. It's hard because we're not credited, and that's a whole nother.
Yes. Yeah, people think I'm lying when they're like, she said she was on that movie and she's not on the page.
Well, we'll talk about that in the next episode. Uh-oh, is that time?
Oh, no, that was my husband texting. So, but it is about time. I got to wrap things up. My daughter's been watching like way too much YouTube. I don't even know what she's watching right now. I'm an awesome mom.
Maybe she's watching my YouTube channel.
What? She should watch your YouTube channel?
Watching my YouTube channel.
She could be. Because she's 5 and she can spell.
Actually, that's awesome.
Okay, I don't know what you said, but because I was talking. Okay, but seriously, we gotta hang up. Greg and I can do this forever. Do you have anything else you want to say, Greg?
No, just that I'm really hungry and I'm really excited to go eat right now.
Okay, go eat, and we'll talk to you, or we'll see you on another Sing Me a Story episode.
Story, yeah.
I don't know what they're called. But... All right. Okay.
You all.
Bye.